black eye for the city of Nashville.
I went to the Iroquois steeplechase this past weekend, and there was a couple taxis offering rides for $400.
The damage some say unlicensed taxis and ride shares are doing, and what's being done to address the problem.
A Rutherford County family frustrated with the Department of Children's Services.
That's one thing that we did was we didn't see them as guests in our home.
Why they're worried for the safety of the children they once fostered. Fox 17 News at 9 starts now.
Middle Tennessee's only primetime news. This is Fox 17 News at 9, your Code Red station.
I went to the Iroquois steeplechase this past weekend, and there was a couple taxis offering rides for $400 just to go right down the road.
We begin tonight with continuing coverage on unlicensed and unregulated taxi and rideshare drivers operating here in Music City.
Well, the Nashville Department of Transportation says it's aware of the reports that we're giving voice to, and it's working with Metro Police to address them. But is this enough? Fox 17 News' Caitlin Miller joining us live downtown on a busy night after speaking with a rideshare driver who says that the fakes are really hurting the industry. Caitlin.
Yes, that's right, Megan and Scott. An Uber and Lyft driver actually reached out to Fox 17 News after seeing our coverage on all of these taxi issues. And he says the real problem is it's hurting people like himself who are just trying to make a living off of rideshare, and for those who are licensed to actually work here in Metro. Larry Morrison has been driving Lyft and Uber around Nashville for 6 years.
With just Uber, 6,359, I think. So about over 10,000 with Lyft and Uber.
Morrison says he's seen a lot more taxi drivers and companies downtown in the last year or two. And he says while some are licensed to work in Metro, he explains others are ripping people off.
I went to the Iroquois steeplechase this past weekend, and there was a couple taxis offering rides for $400 just to go right down the road. So, yeah, I just find it kind of shady, and it kind of hurts the people that are out here, trying to make a living at it.
We also spoke with Nash Vegas Cabs, and they told us this has been going on for several years, and it's ruining the reputation of taxis. They say if drivers leave a company, they're supposed to take down any company letters or logos within 72 hours. But they say some drivers aren't doing that. Nash Vegas Cabs emphasizes this is dangerous because passengers don't know which taxis are real or fake from the outside. Taxi companies and rideshare drivers are calling for a change.
I hope there's just stricter laws having to go through I guess a lot more loops in order to get licensed.
Fox 17 News reached out to the Director of Transportation Licensing Commission 3 times this week, but we have not heard back. NDOT says they are aware of reports of people posing as taxi drivers and are working with enforcement staff and Metro Police to address this issue.
I got it, so that means I pretty much have to head to that actual pickup place and start back to work.
Drivers like Morrison are hoping to see a change soon. Now, TLC says that there are ways to verify if a taxi is licensed. Now, this includes meters, decals, also checking to see if there's a visible permit and a top light. Reporting live from downtown, I'm Caitlin Miller, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Caitlin, thank you. Continuing our coverage as we take a live look at another part of Broadway downtown where local musicians tell us they have fallen victims to some of these fake taxi drivers. One entertainer tells Fox 17 News that a fake driver tried to double the price on him en route. He filed a police report after he says that fake driver threatened him if he didn't pay.
But we want to know what you think. Have you ever fallen victim to an unlicensed taxi or even a fake ride share? We've had just over 150 people weighing in on this, and thankfully not a widespread issue. According to this poll, 90.8% of respondents say no, they've never been victim, compared to 9.2% that say yes. This poll is live right now. To cast your vote and weigh in, you can scan the QR code on the right hand of your screen. It will take you over to our X page, which our handle is Fox Nashville, and we'll show you updated poll results here a little later in the newscast. Fox 17 News has been staying on top of this story, keeping you informed about the safety concerns and pressing transportation officials for a response. And we'll continue to stay on top of this issue. You can see our entire coverage online at fox17.com.
Tonight in Operation Crime and Justice, a man charged with attacking a woman inside an ice cream shop in the Gulch downtown just after lunch hour, broad daylight. The woman tells police she was headed to the bathroom yesterday at the Nashville Sunday Club when a man grabbed her inappropriately, pushed her inside, tried to lock himself inside the bathroom with her. The woman managed to fight him off and called her boyfriend for help. Metro Police say Nelson Giovanni Ortiz Ramirez, the suspect, was found nearby, taken into custody and charged with attempted kidnapping.
And on top of that, so shocking, this happened in the middle of broad daylight in a popular area here in the Gulch. The Nashville Sunday Club, where this attack happened, is located right here by the popular Nashville What Lifts You Wings mural I'm sure you're familiar with. It's where locals and tourists alike stop for pictures. And right next to that is Biscuit Love.
In Operation Crime and Justice, increased charges against a Cheatham County man who police say fired 7 shots at a pizza delivery driver who had just pulled into his driveway by mistake. Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar has the new charges tonight as well as reaction from the victim.
18-year-old Caden Wheeler tells me that he feels justice was served when Ryan Babcock's charge was up from aggravated assault to several counts, including attempted second-degree murder. This comes after he tells me that Babcock shot at him several times right here in this driveway behind me on North Pool Street at the end of last month. Wheeler says he was trying to deliver a Domino's pizza to a home right next to Babcock's, but parked in the wrong driveway. He says Babcock came out of his home when Wheeler returned to his truck and shot at him 7 times, one of the bullets nearly missing his head. His family wanted more to be done after Babcock was initially charged with aggravated assault and they say was released shortly after. Last week, the grand jury charged Babcock with attempted second-degree murder. He was charged on 5 other counts, including 3 counts of reckless endangerment, aggravated assault, and vandalism.
It's not just, just regular, aggravated assault, and I'll say I'm just glad everything turned out the way it has so far.
He tells me that he's just trying to forget what happened and is looking forward to his graduation next week. Reporting in Ashland City, Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
In the high cost of homelessness, Metro government year-to-year data from 2023 to 2024 shows the city's chronic homeless problem is up 43%, getting worse, not better. And it directly conflicts with the way Mayor Freddie O'Connell portrayed the problem of our city's homeless crisis today at a roundtable meeting.
After a massive funding initiative and federal help from the American Rescue Plan, Nashville rolled out next steps to address and combat the city's out-of-control homeless crisis. And while there were some big wins, like closing some of the city's biggest homeless encampments, the city's data that centers around this issue is being interpreted and presented in drastically different ways, and telling 2 very different stories of progress or lack thereof.
Our Office of Homeless Services released data from the point-in-time count that took place earlier this year, which helps us quantify the number of unhoused Nashvillians we have living in our city. The good news from that count is that we were down slightly from last year, but we know we still have work to do.
Mayor O'Connell didn't exactly elaborate on his methodology or what he meant by his point and time count on the numbers. And it's drastically different than the data Metro supplied us, definitively showing that in March 2023, the city's homeless headcount was 1,027. That number a year later in March 2024 was 1,400. That's a 43% increase in the city's homeless population, not a downward trend. Volunteers say problems on the inside are causing a major disconnect.
What we've seen is are all of the nonprofits. They have their own agenda, and they don't want to seem to work with the Office of Homeless Services. So it's a constant battle of bickering back and forth.
Still, Mayor O'Connell focuses on the data that could be perceived as success, claiming the city transitioned 189 people into housing, boasting a 90% retention rate, meaning only 18 people have fallen back into homelessness.
All right, let's talk about the weather. We came into Friday in code red, but things are a little more peaceful in recent hours.
Yeah, the rain we had was this morning, and we've been allowed to it's been able to clear out for the evening hours here. We're allowed to dry out for a little bit.
Mother Nature says
yes, you've had enough. That's right. This evening, though, we are looking at a little bit of fog. You can actually see the visibility lower a little bit here. And as we head through the overnight, the potential for some patchy dense fog may be around. So keep that in mind if you're going to be up for tomorrow morning, that foggy conditions will be likely for us here, but generally looking at mainly dry conditions. Now, stray shower too can't be ruled out, but the radar right now is pretty quiet, fairly quiet for us here. All the action has been well south of us in Texas and Houston yesterday through Louisiana and throughout the Gulf states here, right along the Gulf. We continue to see strong thunderstorms, but that's where it's going to stay for tonight. As a result, we'll look for mostly cloudy skies and again a mild evening. But the good news is we're not looking at too much in the way of rain for the overnight. Temperatures right around 62 here in Nashville, Murfreesboro, Clarksville right around 61 degrees. As we head through the day tomorrow, though, the rain does return. We are going to walk you through the timing. There's a lot of things going on for tomorrow, and want to make sure that you've got the most updated information on the potential for rain for Saturday afternoon. We'll have that hour-by-hour look coming up.
Thank you, Katie. Still to come tonight, fearing for their own safety, why a Rutherford County family is concerned for children in Tennessee's foster care system.
And how the #1 golfer in the world wound up in jail before he teed off today at the
Tagged 2024 Sportage LX for $239 a month.
Tonight, a Rutherford County family telling Fox 17 News that they fear for their own safety and the safety of 2 young boys they used to foster.
As Fox 17 News' Amanda Chen shows us, the family doesn't think the State Department of Children's Services is doing enough to protect the children in foster care.
It's a calling that families don't take lightly. With the critical need for foster care families in the state, some have answered that call. But it came at a cost for one family who feels the system as a whole needs to do better.
They're just rambunctious and loud and very happy. And
having an adopted sister himself, William Rodriguez and his wife always felt a calling to help children in the foster care system. In December of 2022, Rodriguez and his wife received a call that would change their lives forever. They ended up taking in 4 children. Everyone involved decided it was in the children's best interest to separate the older 2 due to behavior issues. So the Rodriguez family kept the 2 young boys.
And it seemed like, you love them and treated them like your own.
yeah, that's one thing that we did was we didn't see them as guests in our home. We saw them as our boys.
Rodriguez says they had been fully supportive of the boys' biological parents. Through court documents given to us by Rodriguez and his attorney, we found the boys were adjudicated dependent and neglected by their biological parents in 2022 and 2023. The documents also claim the biological parents of domestic violence to all 4 children in 2022, with another physical abuse claim against the biological father in February of 2020.
We did everything we could to guide the parents. We prayed for them. We would have visitations. We'd meet them. We'd give them advice.
Rodriguez and his wife felt nothing had changed and became even more concerned after attempts from the Department of Children's Services to get the boys back with the biological parents did not work out. And while Rodriguez understands how great reunification can be for families, he didn't feel like the boys would be safe going back. The Rodriguez family ended up filing a petition for adoption and termination of parental rights in White County. The family couldn't imagine life without the boys. But after having the boys for almost a year, Rodriguez says shortly after they filed the petition for adoption, a social worker for DCS picked the boys up from school. That's the last time the Rodriguez family saw the boys, with no notice or chance to prepare the boys or say goodbye. While this case is going through the court system, the boys are with another family.
I'm a combat veteran, and I've been deployed, and I've come home and stuff, and everybody has their own struggles, but nothing quite like not knowing where they're at.
So why is he sharing his story? While hesitant at first to speak with us, he feels the system must change.
I think it goes beyond the boys. I know what I want for the boys, and I want the best for them. I want them to be able to go to the best home they can and be able to experience what a loving home is, what somebody caring for you is. But statewide, I really would, and I plan to do whatever I can, but I really would like for somebody to look at what's going on, because these are the voices that are not heard.
Rodriguez also feels DCS violated the Foster Parent Bill of Rights, which states the department shall provide timely written notification of changes in the case plan or termination of the placement and the reasons for the changes or termination of placement to the foster parent or parents. He also feels DCS did not take the boys' best interests at heart and feels the department took the boys away from them as soon as they filed a petition with the court, not acknowledging the safe home the boys had been in for a year. A report from the Tennessee Commission on Children and Youth shows Tennessee had the highest rate of foster care instability in the nation from 2016 to 2020. I reached out to DCS to ask if this is typical protocol and requested an explanation of the Foster Parent Bill of Rights. A spokesperson tells me due to this case pending in the court system, they cannot comment.
Nobody should care about some percentage of reunification if you're not looking at the whole picture, if you're not looking at, what does that home that I'm sending them back to look like?
For Rodriguez, he's not stopping anytime soon. As for what's next, the Rodriguez family is still fighting for the boys in court. Reporting in the studio, I'm Amanda Chin, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Patchy fog will be possible as we head through the overnight tonight. In addition to that, a few showers as we head closer to dawn tomorrow morning, mainly in our southern counties. And then the rain becomes more scattered, a little more widespread as we head towards the afternoon. So if you do have plans between the hours of noon and 6 tomorrow, I would be prepared for a secondary plan or an indoor option, because it does look like we will have a good chance for rain, and some of these showers could be heavy at times. We are looking warmer as we head towards Sunday, and going into next week. A little later on, we'll talk about the potential for our first 90-degree day on the way. Tomorrow, again, temperature right around 64 here in Nashville with mostly cloudy skies in the morning, up to about 75 as we get into the afternoon hours. We'll continue to see these scattered showers around throughout the day. It's not going to be raining all afternoon, but that chance will be there. A little better on Sundays. So if you're flexible of the 2 days, Sunday's definitely looking better and the drier of the two. Temperatures will be a little bit warmer, up to about 80 by 12 and 85 by 4. So again, showers mainly between those hours of noon and about 6 p.m., maybe a few showers just after that. But generally, these should be daytime showers that we're looking at. As we go through the overnight into early Saturday morning, I mentioned a few showers in our southern counties. That will be possible as we wake up tomorrow morning. This is around 6. Couple moderate to heavy pockets of rain around Lewisburg, Columbia, even to Lawrenceburg. As we head into the afternoon, you can see these showers starting to pop up a little more. That'll be the case as we head into the early afternoon. This is right around 1. And then we get into about 3, 4 o'clock in the day, more pockets of heavy rain around. That'll continue through about 6. And even just after 6, we'll continue to see those showers slowly taper off into Saturday night, early Sunday morning. So Sunday morning starting off with a mainly clear sky, and overall looking better as we head through the afternoon. Fog possible overnight. Temperatures stay fairly mild, right around 61 degrees. Heading into tomorrow, look for a high around 80. Scattered showers and storms mainly in the afternoon, the exception being a few in the morning in our southern counties. It'll be kind of another cloudy, mostly cloudy and dreary day as far as the rain is concerned, but looking better by Sunday. We'll talk more about the warmer weather on the way for next week. That coming up. Scott.
Thanks, Katie. Just ahead, beginning his day in jail. We'll tell you what happened to the world's top golfer, #1, before he teed off in a major tournament this morning.
And remembering a World War II veteran, his remarkable
social media. Let us do the talking for you. Call us at 615-242-9000.
Round 2 of the PGA Championship, one of golf's major tournaments, getting off to a rough start today up in Louisville, Kentucky.
Well, the #1 player in the world, Scottie Scheffler, arrested trying to make his way onto the course. Here's video from ESPN's Jeff Darlington this morning showing Scheffler being hauled off by police right outside the entrance to the Valhalla Golf Club. Traffic was stopped after a man was hit and killed by a shuttle bus before daylight. Scheffler reportedly tried to drive around the crash scene and up onto the median, and that's when a Louisville Police Department officer jumped onto Scheffler's car. Now, Scheffler was handcuffed, taken to jail, and now faces charges including second-degree assault, reckless driving, and disregarding traffic signals. Scheffler was released before 9 a.m., and because tee times were pushed back because of that deadly accident, he was still able to play his second round.
I did spend some time stretching in a jail cell. That was a first for me. You know, that was part of my warm-up. I was just sitting there waiting, and, you know, I started going through my warm-up. I felt like there was a chance I may be able to still come out here and play, and so I started going through my routine. I tried to get my heart rate down as much as I could today, but like I said, you know, I still feel like my head's spinning a little bit, but yeah, I was fortunate to be able to make it back out and play some golf today.
Now, the big part of the story is the fact that Scottie Scheffler, from whom we just heard, was just trying to get into the Valhalla Golf Club. It's a big one in Louisville where they have the majors here, you know, fairly regularly. Now, this is the entrance to the club down this way, right here, right off of Shelbyville Highway. And this is just in Louisville, Kentucky, a couple hours north of here. Now, as we mentioned, a man was killed after being struck near the front gate, the entrance right down here, early this morning by a shuttle bus. Now, despite the crazy morning, Scheffler had a great round, a shot of 5 under 66. Now, he even scored a birdie, if you can believe it, on his very first hole.
He was one of the last survivors of the Battle of the Bulge. Tennessee's Jim Young not only fought in the Battle of the Bulge, he remembered it like it was yesterday. An unforgettable.
This Fox 17 newscast is sponsored by B.F. Myers Furniture. Fox 17 News Farrier Files is sponsored by Bart Durham Injury Law.
Well, if you don't know much about the Battle of the Bulge, more American lives were lost in that than any battle in U.S. history, and it was that battle that truly ended the war.
Jim Young, one of the last survivors of that battle, died last week, one day shy of his 99th birthday. Fox 17 News' Dennis Farrier has his amazing story in tonight's Farrier Files.
Jim Young remembered it all like it was yesterday. Be prepared to join him at the Battle of the Bulge as we remember this Tennessee treasure.
Jim Young was born in a beached houseboat at the foot of Beale Street on the Mississippi River. He spent most of his life living in a tent, trapping, hunting, fishing, and working as a steeplejack. He was a real-life Huck Finn who had no idea that all of that boyhood training would help keep him alive as a soldier in World War II.
Troops scatter through the field searching for Nazi paratroopers.
Young joined General Patton as a scout in the infantry at the Battle of the Bulge. Within hours, he started seeing men die.
How did you feel about being there?
I was scared to death, brother, I'll tell you. Most of the time, I was just scared to death because, you know, death all around, destruction, it's just so close.
Young was a crack shot, so he was moved from scout to machine gunner. He remembers a dangerous skirmish on a very dark night.
One incident that really touched me, that even to this day, as I could hear a soldier crying out for somebody to kill him, somebody shoot me, somebody shoot me. It touched me so deeply that it's so vivid to me right now. I don't even have to close my eyes, but I can hear his voice right now.
77 years later, he remembers it all vividly.
I crawled right through what was left of guys that artillery shell fell right on them.
Story after story, death within arm's reach.
The last round that sniper fired, hit him right here. Now, sir, I'm laying within 4 feet of him. I've got a white face, he had a white face. Why that he chose that white face instead of this one, only God knows.
Once Jim's tank was hit by artillery fire, 3 dead. He was thrown in the middle of the road, injured so badly he couldn't get up.
Artillery shells going off. If think about the anti-craft guns, how they have the bursts and the shrapnel spreads and the gunpowder black, and it was just hell is what it was. And anyway, but this man took a hold of me and helped me, and he dragged and lifted me to a washout.
That was farm boy Herman Lee, pictured here with Jim after the battle. When the war ended, Young earned all kinds of medals, including the Bronze Star and Combat Infantry Badge. He came home to marriage and children and good jobs and night terrors. For 15 years, every single night, the moment he went to sleep.
Now, I'd have to read until I'd go to sleep. I'd have a book hit me in the face. I'd go to sleep reading because I was scared to go to sleep. Because every time I felt myself going to sleep, it was the devil would tell me I was dying. And so it was almost suffering death every time I'd feel sleep coming on.
Young finally asked the family preacher for help. The preacher surprised Young when he said, "Pray with me now." At first, Young wouldn't.
He had raised his head and he had his eyes open. We're just like this. He said, "Lord, look at me right now." He said, "Lord, I'm a sinner." And I said, "Lord, I'm a sinner." And when I did, no thunder, no bolt of lightning, nothing like that, but suddenly, immediately, I knew that some change occurred within my being.
And those nightmares every night for 15 years?
Never had another nightmare, never.
After that day?
After that moment.
The experience moved Jim into the ministry where he served for more than 40 years. What a life.
You know, I've had a wonderful life. It's not always been wonderful, but it's always been filled with wonder.
Now that was a life of value. Jim Young will be buried Monday morning. Thank you for your service, Mr. Young. Thank you for everything. I'm Dennis Ferrier, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Fox 17 News Farrier Files is sponsored by Bart Durham Injury Law.
That was an amazing story. Thank you for your service, Mr. Young. Let's take a look here. Broadway this evening, not looking too bad. In fact, mild night at least. Cloudy skies and a little bit of patchy fog for the overnight hours. Folks still out and about enjoying the evening here. Temperatures will be warm to start tomorrow morning and still kind of feeling sticky and muggy out there. You notice that temperatures climb to the low 70s. That rain chance will slowly increase through the late morning and more so into the afternoon. That's when those showers become more widespread. Talk about the heat. It's on as we head into next week when we might find our next 90-degree temperature.
I'm Kayla Gaskins. Coming up, how an attempted security breach at a Marine Corps base in Northern Virginia highlights locations.
Fox 17 News Code Red Weather.
Your first line of defense when severe weather threatens.
Continuing coverage now on the border crisis down south as federal agents arrest 2 Jordanian nationals after they attempted to force their way onto a Marine Corps base in Northern Virginia.
Well, Fox 17 News' Kayla Gaskins with the broader border security concerns that this ignites. And by the way, you can vote on this issue by scanning the QR code that will appear here shortly on your screen during this story.
An attempted security breach at the Marine Corps base in Quantico, Virginia, placing a spotlight on how much the government doesn't know about who is entering the U.S. illegally and what threats they may pose.
The word is out around the world. If you are dangerous, if you're from a dangerous country, come to America. The Biden administration will let you in.
According to base officials, earlier this month, 2 Jordanian nationals drove a box truck up to the Marine Corps base in Quantico, posing as Amazon drivers. They had no credentials, were denied denied entry but attempted to push through anyways. The men were quickly stopped, taken into custody, and handed over to ICE, where they await deportation. The Biden administration tight-lipped on details.
Given that it is an active law enforcement matter, so I would have to refer you to ICE.
A community paper, the Potomac Local, broke the story. According to their reporting, multiple sources said one of the men recently crossed into the U.S. via the southern border, and one is on the terror watch list. ICE has not yet confirmed if they're here illegally or if they're on the watch list. The agency, though, has classified them as non-citizens. This comes as Fox News reports in the first 3 years of the Biden administration, 1.6 million migrants evaded Border Patrol but were caught on camera or detected by sensors and are thus classified as known gotaways. That figure is larger than the previous 10 years combined.
The 1.6 million gotaways could also include very dangerous actors, whether it be, murderers, rapists, drug dealers, drug traffickers.
Under President Biden, Border Patrol encountered more than 367 people on the terror watch list, compared with just 14 during Donald Trump's administration.
An increasing number of migrants attempting to enter the U.S. illegally at the southern border come from adversaries to the U.S., places like China and Iran. This fiscal year alone, nearly 25,000 Chinese nationals were encountered by Border Patrol. I'm Kayla Gaskins reporting.
During its story, we had a QR code up linking you to a poll asking whether you think President Biden's border policies are putting public safety at risk. 708 people weighing in, 89% say yes. Our thanks tonight for all who took time to vote.
Still to come tonight, remembering the fallen, how the THP is honoring troopers who died in the line of duty.
And carrying the torch, the Tennessee heroes who helped to kick off the Tennessee Special Olympics.
And coming up, talking more about the warm-up that is on the way as we head into next week.
Well, new tonight, remembering some of those who made the ultimate sacrifice.
The State Safety Department hosted a memorial service today for state troopers who died in the line of duty. That service was held outside THP headquarters in South Nashville. It included the honor guard and the presentation of colors. There was also a special tribute table, which included a pair of boots, an equipment belt, a helmet, and red roses. Today's service was dedicated to THP Lieutenant Tim Ryan, who died on the job back in 2022.
To protect and serve is not just a motto, it's a calling. Our fallen heroes have demonstrated that their pride in being called to serve was greater than any fear they faced. Their spirit of service will live on.
46 Tennessee troopers have died in the line of duty since the THP was established in 1929.
Well, the Tennessee Highway Patrol helping to celebrate the start of the Special Olympics by taking part in the law enforcement torch run leading up to today's opening ceremony. The special run unites law enforcement agencies from across the state to raise money and awareness for the Special Olympics. Officers carry what's called the Flame of Hope, which ends up lighting the cauldron to officially kick off the state summer games here in Nashville.
Earlier in the newscast, we told you about our X poll asking whether you have fallen victim to one of these unlicensed taxi or fake rideshare drivers. And you see the numbers there on your screen. Looks like a little over 150 people have voted. 91% say no, nearly 9% say yes, it's happened to me. We'll have another update on the numbers for you tonight on Fox 17 News at 10.
All right, heading into the weekend, we've had those on again, off again storms, and just wondering if we could hit it just right for Saturday and Sunday.
I know. At least half of the weekend's looking good. I do think Saturday, for part of the day, we're looking at some scattered stuff. It won't be all day, and I don't think everybody will see rain. It'll just depend on where
who you are, where you live.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What event you have going on. I'd probably expect rain, you know?
Right.
It's always the way.
It's
how it works.
Yeah, it's always how it works. Next week, we're also looking ahead here to the potential to our first 90-degree day. So I do see some warmer weather on the way as we head into Monday and Tuesday. It does look like 90 could be something we're looking at here. It's been a while since we've seen our last 90-degree day. 200 33 days. In fact, it was last September. So I have yet to see it for 2024, but I do think as we get into the afternoon hours for Monday, we'll be pretty close. We'll be in those upper 80s. So as we walk you through the forecast for Monday, you can see through 4 o'clock right around that 90-degree mark here in Nashville. 87 in Murfreesboro, with Clarksville around 89. Mid to upper 80s for Cookeville and Crossville. Lewisburg, Tullahoma sitting in the mid 80s also. Then we get into the overnight. It'll be a pretty mild one as we drop back into those low 70s. Into the afternoon for Tuesday, again, temperatures reaching about 90 for the day. So if we don't reach it on Monday, I think we have a little bit better chance to do so for Tuesday. And again, heat index values may actually be something we need to talk about as well. Heat index values could be in the mid to upper 90s for Monday and Tuesday. So not only are we talking about the temperatures, but we're talking about the humidity that'll play a role in how it feels outside. So pretty toasty to start the beginning of next week, and then mild as we head into early Wednesday morning. The average, as far as where we stand, just for perspective here, we're not too far off. Our average first 90-degree temperature or 90-degree high is May 27th, so we're not too far away from that. The earliest on record is April 25th, and the latest is July 5th. And I think we're going to hit that before we get to July. In fact, it's looking pretty good. We might see it going into next week, as long as we don't have the any extra cloud cover that's trying to move in. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. You can see 80 for Saturday. Again, showers and storms mainly in the morning. The exception is going to be a cluster of thunderstorms that is possible for early Saturday morning in our southern counties. A couple of these may bring a few gusts of wind and maybe some small hail. Generally, though, I think we're looking at severe weather to stay to our south. So that's something we'll keep our eye on as we get into Saturday afternoon. Non-severe showers and storms around. Temperatures in the mid 80s for Sunday, and then Monday and Tuesday, there's your chance for 90-degree high. Wednesday, Thursday, showers and thunderstorms possible. We're in the mid to upper 80s.
Thank you, Katie. Well, you may want to pack your patience if you're headed out to B&A this weekend. We will explain.
And we've all got them, but are they safe? Questions about health.
Fox 17 News Farrier Files is sponsored by Bard-Durham Injury Law.
Tonight, if you are flying out of town this weekend, you will want to be sure to give yourself a little extra time.
Yeah, that's right. Nashville International Airport officials say Sunday is really going to be a busy day. Now, they say that they're expecting heavy numbers of travelers on Sunday as summer travel kicks the season into high gear. They recommend that you sign up for B&A text alerts. You can use the new cell phone lot if you're waiting to pick someone up, and take alternate routes to get to the airport, like Murfreesboro Pike. Some pro tips there.
Looking ahead to Sunday in Nashville in Focus now. Topics for our panel this week include the mayor's State of the Metro address, as well as efforts to remove charter protections for car racing at the Nashville Fairgrounds. As it stands, the Metro Charter says that an auto racetrack will be maintained at the fairgrounds. It just will, which is now also the home of a soccer stadium. Changing that will require a public vote to amend the charter. And Metro Council recently made a petition hurdle demanding that public vote a lot harder to cross.
This is a metro city government that strives on this. We're community input oriented, we're democratic, but they did make this decision to make it so hard. It went from 10% of those who voted in the last general election to 10% of everyone registered in Nashville.
It's like 50,000.
Yeah, it went from 15 to 50,000.
Yeah. Other topics this week include the likelihood state lawmakers will pass school vouchers next session, and what local and state leaders need to do to improve our roads. That's Sunday morning at 6:30 and Sunday night at 10:30 on Nashville in Focus.
Well, this week on Full Measure, 5G, the new technology powering our smartphones that's supposed to make things work better and faster. But there are concerns about the health impacts. A government study designed to answer important safety questions was suddenly halted, and now these concerns are being disputed.
They brought in these reviewers, and here's what the reviewers said. We've now looked at all the evidence, and we think that there is, quote, clear evidence of cancer. That was what the study found.
The energy levels, the power levels from these things are really very low compared to what we use in medicine and compared to what you get from the sun. In terms of what to do if you are worried about it, I mean, there are options for using your speakerphone or some other things.
Well, this week on Full Measure, Cheryl Atkinson investigates both sides. That's Sunday morning at 7:30, right here on Fox 17.
Looking ahead to Monday now, as the low bond movement for violent criminals in our state is about to run head on into some new Tennessee laws. A Fox 17 News investigations highlighted some cases where people out on bond ended up charged in even more violent and serious crimes. This comes after calls for change from victims' rights groups and even Metro's own police chief. But will their pleas be heard? Our Dennis Ferrier investigates Monday on Fox 17 News at 9.
Still to come tonight, a big boost to summer literacy programs helping thousands here in the mid-state.
For country fried steak. And now enjoy breakfast till noon every day. Hardee's, goodness in the making.
Well, in your community tonight, Dollar General is helping Middle Tennessee's literacy programs.
Company's got a literacy foundation that just doled out more than $1 million in grants for Nashville schools, libraries, and some nonprofits as well. Among them, the Nashville Public Library Foundation, the YWCA, the Martha O'Brien Center, the Nashville Adult Literacy Council. They will all get grants. This money will help to reach more than 244,000 Middle Tennesseans who need education assistance.
This is Fox 17 News at 10, your Code Red station.
You're taking a chance versus, saving some money and just getting in a legit Lyft or Uber.
Continuing coverage as more people come to Fox 17 News with their concerns about fake taxi drivers operating here in Nashville. Some rideshare drivers say that it's even damaging the industry's reputation.
Fox 17 News' Caitlin Miller's live downtown now after speaking with one local rideshare driver today. Says he's doing everything he can to do it right.
Yes, Scott and Megan, we spoke with a rideshare driver today, and he says that he's seen a lot more taxis downtown over the last year or two and a lot more companies working downtown. Now, we spoke with a man named Larry Morrison who has been working for Uber and Lyft for 6 years. And Morrison says there are always events going on in Nashville, so he says they're trying to get people who are stuck on the side of the road and then rip them off. We also spoke with Nash Vegas Cab, and they told us that this has been going on for several years and it's ruining the reputation of taxis. They say if drivers leave a company, they're supposed to take down company letters or logos within 72 hours. But they say some drivers are not doing that.
People are kind of leery about getting in cabs with complete strangers, but I find going through the app, Lyft and Uber, it seems to be a lot safer.
NDOT says they are aware of drivers posing as licensed taxi drivers, and they are working with Metro Police and TLC to do more inspections. Now, TLC says that there are a few things that you can look for to verify if the taxis are licensed. Now, this includes meters having visible logos out front and company decals. Reporting live from downtown, I'm Caitlin Miller, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Caitlin, thank you. Opening this up to everybody now, we want to know what you think. Earlier in our newscast, we told you about our X poll, asking the question, have you ever fallen victim to an unlicensed taxi or a fake rideshare? These numbers keep creeping up here, so we've had 165 people weighing in. 90.9% still say no, 9.1% say yes. So each night, you can look for a brand new X poll on our page that you can participate in. Thanks for voting.
In your community, a memorial service today for state troopers and other law enforcement officers who died in the line of duty. This somber service was held outside THP headquarters on Foster Avenue in South Nashville. It included the THP Honor Guard, the presentation of colors. There was also a special tribute table. That's it right there. It included a pair of boots, equipment belt, a helmet, red roses. 46 of our troopers have died in the line of duty since the THP was formed back in 1929.
Not a day goes by when those who've died are not loved and missed. They will forever hold a place in our hearts as we continue to honor their spirit, service, and sacrifice with our words and actions.
Today's service was dedicated to the memory of THP Lieutenant Tim Ryan of East Tennessee, who died on the job back in 2022 after suffering a medical episode.
Looking at patchy fog as we head through the overnight tonight, already starting to see low visibility here on our camera. And as we go into the overnight hours, I think a little bit more may be possible for us here. So starting off with a live look from our South Nashville camera, you can see that we've got some of that lower visibility. Foggy conditions expected as we head through the overnight. We've got a lot of moisture out there, and I do expect it to become a little bit more widespread. Right now, looking at most of it along the upper Cumberland region out toward the plateau. A little bit more that'll probably spread westward as we head through the overnight tonight. Right now is pretty quiet. We are looking at a few light showers here again up towards the upper Cumberland region. But for now, things remain fairly quiet for us here. What we're going to be watching through the overnight, a couple showers and thunderstorms off to our west here right now out in Arkansas. Will march into our southern counties for early tomorrow morning. Now, there's a possibility that we could have one or two that produce a couple gusts of wind and hail. I don't think the severe weather threat's really something we need to be all that concerned about, but for folks in our southern counties, we may be waking up to some rumbles of thunder and some heavy downpours for the beginning of the day. The better chance for rain overall is going to come in a little later in the afternoon. Temperatures in the low 60s for the overnight. We'll walk you through the timing for the shower chances coming up in your Fox 17 Code Red forecast.
Thanks for the recap there, Katie. We'll check back in this week on Full Measure. 5G is the new technology powering our smartphones, and it's supposed to make things work better and faster. But there are concerns about the health impacts. A government study designed to answer important safety questions suddenly halted. These concerns are being disputed right now.
They brought in these reviewers, and here's what the reviewers said. We've now looked at all the evidence, and we think that there is, quote, clear evidence of cancer. That was what the study found.
The energy levels, the power levels from these things are very, very low compared to what we use in medicine and compared to what you get from the sun. In terms of what to do if you are worried about it, I mean, there are options for using your speakerphone or some other things.
This week on Full Measure, Cheryl Atkinson investigates both sides. That is Sunday morning at 7:30 right here on Fox 17.
Tonight, former Donald Trump attorney John Eastman pleads not guilty to charges he conspired to overturn the results of the 2020 election out in Arizona. Eastman and more than a dozen other Trump allies, among them former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, former attorney Rudy Giuliani, have been indicted in Arizona for their efforts, including the fake elector scheme. Eastman is the first defendant to appear in court and insists he wasn't involved.
I had zero communications with the electors in Arizona, zero involvement in any of the election litigation in Arizona or legislative hearings, and I'm confident that with the laws faithfully applied, I will be fully exonerated at the end of this process.
Can you share?
Eastman was released without conditions. Donald Trump not among those charged in Arizona, but the indictment suggests he is the unindicted co-conspirator number one.
A civil war thanks to the national debt. I'm Matt Gelka in Washington, and I'll tell you what.
This Fox 17 newscast is sponsored by Tennessee Homebuyers.
Tonight, the federal budget deficit has influential investors now issuing a stark warning about the future of our economy.
And as Fox 17 News' Matt Gelka tells us, one billionaire even says the possibility of a civil war is growing.
The ballooning national debt is a problem that should not be put on the back burner. That's the word this week from JP Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon.
I'm hoping that, the government really focuses on how can we reduce that deficit and still have good growth, but how can we reduce that deficit? At one point, it'll cause a problem, and why should you wait?
Another billionaire investor joined him in worrying about the $34.7 trillion deficit in the U.S., a number that continues to rise. Bridgewater hedge fund founder Ray Dalio was a little more dire in his warning. Government spending sprees combined with a divided American population. financial burdens of getting ahead, and international war are all risk factors for a more polarized population. Dalio told the Financial Times this week the probability of a civil war was about 35 to 40%, telling the outlet the country was on the brink. And maybe it's scenes like this from the hit movie Civil War that come to mind. Americans taking up arms against each other in a modern repeat of the 1860s. Dalio didn't rule it out, but he sees more of a tribal polarization, where people move to different states that are more aligned with what they want and they don't follow the decisions of federal authorities of the opposite political persuasion. Dalio has been worried about the extreme political divides for years.
We're seeing the form of civil war. People are leaving to go from one place to another, partially for taxes, but also partially for other reasons. There has to be the bringing of the country together.
In a lighter moment, Dalio even pointed to Taylor Swift and the unity displayed at her concerts as something the country needs, and even half-jokingly suggested she'd be a decent presidential candidate. The underlying message? The country needs a unifier before it's too late. In Washington, I'm Matt Gelka.
Well, check this out. For 1 week only, you can experience the Blue Angels like never before. A new documentary soaring into IMAX theaters across the country today. Camera crews got unprecedented access to the U.S. Navy's flight demonstration squad using IMAX certified gear, even sending up a helicopter in the middle of their stunts. The documentary follows the team and shows what it's like to be part of the elite squad. One of the current pilots hopes the stunning visuals will showcase the Navy and U.S. military as a whole.
They're all out there right now. There are Navy and Marine Corps units. There's aircraft carriers out there right now doing the job that they've been asked to do by our country and by our leadership, and they do it exceptionally well, which is why we never hear about it. And I hope that that's what people see. They see the Blue Angels and they recognize their entire military works at that level.
We have a week to catch the documentary on the biggest screen possible. Then it will be available on Amazon Prime starting next Thursday.
A glimmer of hope after record fentanyl-related overdoses. I'm Angela Brown in Washington, D.C. The latest numbers from the CDC about drug overdoses.
And coming up, we'll talk more about our rain chances, when you can expect.
This Fox 17 This Morning newscast is sponsored by Zander Insurance.
Boeing supplier Spirit Aero is cutting jobs as production of 737s is slowing down. 450 workers at its Wichita, Kansas facility will be notified in the next few weeks. Like Boeing, Spirit Aero is under scrutiny from multiple federal investigations over several incidents involving Boeing aircraft. Shoppers are back to buying shoes in person, especially from Skechers. The athletic footwear brand says sales involving retailers were up nearly 10% in the first quarter from a year ago. The company says it is a, quote, pivot from the doldrums of the last couple of years. Goldfish Old Bay crackers are back for summer. To celebrate the return, Goldfish is releasing a limited edition goldfish-shaped pool floaty. Fans can get one by entering the giveaway at goldfishsummerhousegiveaway.com by May 20th. From savory to sweet, Dolly Parton and Krispy Kreme teaming up on a Dolly Southern Sweets donut collection with 4 all-new donuts. For a limited time, participating Krispy Kreme locations are selling Parton's 4 donuts: Dolly Dazzler, Peachy Keen Cobbler, Banana Puddin' Pie, and Chocolate Cream Pie. That's business. CJ Papa, Fox News.
Well, tonight in Addicted America, a glimmer of hope in the opioid crisis for the first time since the pandemic.
It's good news. As Fox 17 News' Angela Brown shows us, overdose deaths are finally dropping from their record highs.
Keep in mind, this is preliminary data, but fatal overdoses dropped by 3%. While national numbers are trending down, Sinclair reporters coast to coast are covering what is happening in their communities. So many lives lost, so much heartbreak.
First thing I'm going to tell every parent is to wake up.
Our team in San Antonio, Texas, sharing Nikki Gold's story. She lost her son, Braden, who took a pill he thought was prescription medication, actually laced with fentanyl.
I'm telling you, it's happening everywhere. It doesn't discriminate.
After years of overdose deaths rising, a glimmer of hope. a drop in overdoses.
The preliminary numbers are very encouraging, but one death is too many.
Here are the preliminary numbers from the CDC. Over 107,000 Americans are estimated to have died of drug overdoses in 2023, a 3% decrease from the estimated 111,000 overdose deaths in 2022, the first annual decrease in drug overdose deaths since 2018. Amara Durham, founder of Urgent Care Mental Health.
We know, based on the numbers, that education and awareness is making a difference. We just need to make sure that that difference is made from east to west.
In the Pacific Northwest, Multnomah County in Oregon releasing their preliminary data for 2023. Our team in Portland reporting in 2023, 322 people died from fentanyl-related overdoses in the county.
The data went from about 2 deaths per month in 2018 to the partial data in 2023 shows us about 36 deaths per month, more than 1 per day.
Fentanyl-related overdoses are declining. However, deaths tied to meth and also cocaine went up. Overall, the CDC did not offer a reason for the drop of fentanyl-related deaths. However, Narcan has become more available, combined with national efforts and education on the fentanyl crisis. In Washington, D.C., I'm Angela Brown.
All right, Katie, and as we were talking earlier, those hit or miss showers may or may not impact plans depending on where you don't live.
That's right. Or if you do or don't have plans. If you don't have plans, it'll
and
probably
whether
be
you
fine.
bring an umbrella. If you don't, you're going to get it.
That's right. That's right.
That's how it always works, right?
That's right. I know we do have a lot of things going on, graduations and other, outdoor functions, and just that time of year too. It's starting to get warmer, so we tend to have a lot more of those. So we will be watching, I think, scattered activity for tomorrow here. We're also watching a very small cluster through the overnight hours in our southern counties that may impact places like Lawrenceburg or to Pulaski and over towards Fayetteville. So those are a few showers that we'll expect for the early morning hours. We are going to be warming as well as we head into Sunday. Temperatures in the mid 80s, and then potentially our first 90-degree day as we head towards the beginning of next week. Saturday, temperatures around 66, 75 by 12 noon, and looking to hover in those mid to upper 70s to around 80 for the day. Better chance of storms afternoon. Looking much better for Sunday. Sunshine the story, temperatures in those upper 80s. Here's a look at your rain chances here as we go through the afternoon again between 12 and 6 p.m. This model run here, again, not too impressive with the chances for rain, but again, it'll depend on where you are, you get a lot of rain or maybe a little bit of rain or maybe no rain. So let's walk you through future track through the overnight, looking at mainly cloudy skies. There is, again, that cluster of showers and storms that are trying to pop up here in our southern counties. Giles, Lawrence, Wayne County, Lincoln, Moore, Franklin counties. A couple of these may be a little intense with rainfall, maybe some gusts of wind up to 40, 50 miles per hour. Generally, though, I would say our severe weather threat's pretty low. A little bit better chance to the east as we get into the south, as we get into the later morning hours. As we get into the afternoon, you can see more of those showers starting to pop up. Severe weather threat not a concern as we head through the afternoon, but heavy rain I think we will get. And notice as we head towards the afternoon and early evening hours, we continue to see these sort of popcorn storms that are around, producing some pretty heavy rainfall in spots. That'll continue through the early evening before we taper off going into the overnight hours. The good news is Sunday is dry. We're warmer as we head towards Monday and even Tuesday of next week. Highs will be near 90 degrees. We'll see showers and thunderstorms around for Wednesday and Thursday and staying in those mid to upper 80s through at least Thursday.
Now here's a look at some of the headlines you should be keeping an eye on as NASCAR holds its All-Star race this weekend. Kyle Larson won this race a season ago, but he will miss most of the weekend's festivities this season as he attempts to be the first driver since Kurt Busch in 2014 to the Indy 500 Coca-Cola 600 double. With qualifying on Saturday for both the All-Star race and Indy, Larson will miss the activities in North Wilkesboro since he's already locked into the Cup Series race and not Indy. But he's not concerned about it.
I'm not stressed out about logistics at all. I feel like we've got a good plan, and so yeah, I feel like I'm just kind of tell me where to be, tell me when to get in the car, tell me which car I'm getting in, and we'll go.
For drivers who haven't won a race in the past year, they have a chance to race their way into the All-Star race via the open race. This year's race is full of big names like Alex Bowman, Bubba Wallace, and Austin Dillon, who have all won races in past seasons.
The open race should be intense, exciting, a lot of words. People be getting after it to try and transfer into the All-Star race.
You can watch my full conversation with Austin Dillon, as well as more from Kyle Larson, on the Backstretch podcast, which you can find on Apple Podcasts and on YouTube. On the Backstretch, I'm Heather Williams.
All right, starting the day in jail. Rough start to the Friday, but what happened to the world's top
today?
This Fox 17 newscast is sponsored by the Rocky McElhaney Law Firm.
In sports, a rough start to day 2 of the PGA Championship for the world's top-ranked golfer.
Well, Scotty Scheffler arrested trying to get into the Valhalla Golf Course in Louisville, Kentucky. Here's video from ESPN's Jeff Darlington showing Scheffler being led away in handcuffs. Traffic outside the club was stopped after a vendor got hit by a shuttle bus and killed. Scheffler reportedly tried to drive around the crash scene up onto the median, and that's when an officer reportedly jumped onto Scheffler's car. Scheffler now charged with second-degree assault, reckless driving, and disregarding traffic signals. He was released before 9 o'clock this morning, and because tee times had been pushed back because of that deadly accident, he was able to play in the second round.
I did spend some time stretching in a jail cell. That was a first for me. You know, that was part of my warm-up. I was just sitting there waiting, and, you know, I started going through my warm-up. I felt like there was a chance I may be able to still come out here and play, and so I started going through my routine. I tried to get my heart rate down as much as I could today, but like I said, you know, I still feel like my head's spinning a little bit, but yeah, I was fortunate to be able to make it back out and play some golf today.
Now, a big part of the story is the fact that Scotty Scheffler was trying to get into the Valhalla Golf Club. He was in a vehicle that was clearly marked a PGA official vehicle. This is the entrance to the club right down here along Louisville Highway, and it's in this area that the traffic had been brought to a stop because of the fact that the vendor had been hit. Now, despite all the drama, Scotty Scheffler actually had a great round of golf. He shot 5 under par, a 66 today, and even managed to get a birdie on hole number 1.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
It could take weeks for everyone in the Houston area to get their power back following last night's severe storms. The powerful winds knocked down transmission lines and blew out windows in downtown buildings. The same system dropped this hailstone on or near San Antonio. It kind of looks like Texas. And when you have a bear of an itch, you have to scratch it. And sometimes a telephone pole will do the trick.
For more content like this, follow the National Weather Desk on Instagram.
That was funny, that bear taking care of business. And you can see more weather stories like this every weekday morning on the National Weather Desk, starting at 8 a.m. on our sister station, MyTV 30.
So coming up, we have a little food for thought. I'm Liz Bonus. 3 diets that might make a difference in treating memory problems. We share it just ahead.
Hurry in to get the best selection. Check our inventory at sarahclarksville.com.
In your health news, new research shows that your diet and a few other activities that challenge the brain may help fight off Alzheimer's disease.
Fox 17 medical reporter Liz Bonus tonight sharing some food for thought.
Hey there, everybody. The Alzheimer's Association says 3 diets now appear to help provide food for thought, you might say. But the foods need to be combined with a few other healthy brain habits. At the Brains in Bloom event for family members and friends connected to Alzheimer's disease, the flower arranging and socialization, one healthy brain habit, especially for Terry Thomas and her mom.
I get to see her be happy and thriving and just get out and mingle with other people, socialize, and just have a really good time.
Activities like this are mentally challenging. Activities like this are physically challenging. Come on. Both are critical to keeping memory and thinking strong, Adam Ortman told me. He specializes in exercise science at Ohio's Activate Brain and Body.
Physical activity and inflammation are 2 things that are becoming more prominent, where most of the roots for illnesses and diseases stem from a lack of physical activity or exercise and inflammation. So if we can do things to increase activity and decrease inflammation, generally these symptoms are going to be less and you're going to feel better and have better health.
Add to that one of the 3 diets now recommended by the Alzheimer's Association, and you really have a formula for long-term brain health success. The first is the DASH diet. It's dietary approaches to stop hypertension. It focuses on fruits and vegetables and a plant-based diet, along with 3-a-day dairy. The second is the Mediterranean diet. It suggests seafood instead of red meat, as well as good fats such as olive oil and fruits and vegetables. And finally, the MIND diet is a combo of these two. It suggests berries and a lot of green leafy vegetables, along with other plant-based foods. Those who eat this way, one study found, reduced the risk of developing Alzheimer's disease by more than 50% compared to those who eat the more traditional high-fat meat-based diet. Now, as for which of these diets is the better pick for brain power, several studies now underway to help us find out. With your health news, I'm Liz Bonus reporting.
All right, I'm hoping to be among the lucky people who doesn't get rained on tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I think it's about a 60 to 70% chance even have 60. I'm like, I can't remember what I did there.